All right, so I guess we'll talk about the characters that they've teased during the 2.4 live stream. I am thinking maybe they might show more of them in maybe during Summer Games Fest, but I'm assuming that during the 2.4 story, whether it be for part 1 or part 2, we'll probably see more of these characters. If not, well, we'll just see, I guess. But anyways, regardless, we'll start with Augusta here. So she symbolizes the sun, eternally ablaze. So, uh, like I mean, if you look right here with Brax, Mavika, if her design was good, I've seen so many comparisons with her to Mavika, but like when you think about it, I feel like her design just matches so well with her theme, like with with the whole gladiators, God of War look. And when you look at Mavwika, she doesn't look anything like a God of War. So I will forgive me for pointing that out. But in terms of design, I just really like Augusta in terms of representing. You know, at least I'm assuming she represents the gladiators in some way, or at least has some high ranking in Septimont. At least that's my assumption. And yeah, I feel like her design really matches. And then she has a freaking huge broad blade. And based on her design, there could be two things with her design. She could either be fusion because of the fiery red hair, or she could be Spectro because the background is yellow. That's my only suspicions on what she could be. But I'm leaning more towards the side of her being fusion. Now with when I first saw honestly, she gave me she pretty much reminded me of Ishtar from FGO. If I'm gonna be perfectly honest, she pretty much looks like Ishtar, where Ishtar has like the huge um, quote bow that she brings around, which is like if you look here, has this huge disc thing, which is I guess it's supposed to kind of like symbolize the moon. So moon, and like it doesn't help that it says moon arrow that anchors shifts of fate. That description does not help the beat the reference to FGO allegations. But hey, I honestly like of what I do like her design, especially I'm definitely biased towards characters with a um blue and white design, which she has here. Now as for Element, um I honestly don't know. I guess we could say she's probably cryo, maybe. But like that, I mean, it's not always where we have like when you look at Cantarella. Like she is her overall scheme is blue, but her element is havoc. So when you look at she symbolizes the moon. The moon kind of affects water in terms of tides. So may and havoc symbolizes water, or havoc is in some way related to water. So maybe she is havoc, maybe. So it's either she's havoc or glacio, maybe. But yeah, I mean, looking forward to what they unveil. I mean, but I'm like probably thinking she's gonna be a rectifier user. I don't know what other weapon this disc thing could possibly symbolize. So I'm thinking rectifier. Now, Galbrenna, like honestly, I feel like she is my favorite of the teased characters. If I'm gonna be honest, she has she's a pistol user. Now, as to what element, let me think. What are the options? She could be Havoc. She could be Glacio as well, maybe because of the hair. She has the platinum blonde hair with the blue highlights. So maybe she's the Glacio character. But regardless, like, and also her design kind of reminds me of Alyssa from PGR in a way, but instead of using a bow, she's using pistols. So yeah, one of my favorite designs from the characters that they've teased. Then we have the sole new male character revealed since Brant. Oh boy, we haven't seen any new characters, male characters. So the long wayfaring swordsman, and people have been telling me that this may be like the master of um what? Sorry, Shanyun. Wait, what's her name? Uh, but I guess we'll see. Now, as to what his weapon is, swordsman. So either a sword or a broad blade. I guess maybe. Oh, sorry, Master Janjin. Maybe that's her name. Oh my god, I forgot her name. Janshin. So, because they have a fairly similar color palette, the green, the blacks, the whites. So maybe he might be Janshin's master, Shifu, Sensei, whichever. There's that. Um, Based on the green, I guess he's Arrow. Could be. And since Janshin is Arrow as well, so it would kind of kind of fit. And then we have, actually, she may not be like, she's probably like my second favorite, but I feel like that's more because of my because I have seen this character before. Chisa is pretty much looks well looks very similar to Yuka Saotome from Punishing Great Raven, which is one of the bosses, and it's a pretty cool boss fight, I will say. And the design of the weapon is pretty much very similar, where it's a scissor blade. She's wearing a modified version of a Japanese schoolgirl uniform, so, and the black hair, red eyes, very similar design, and we now have a version of her under the name of Chisa in Wuthering Waves. Now for her element, hmm, what would I peg her element to be in? I mean, it could be probably Havoc, like based on like the I'm most of this is like like my experience with Yuka from Punishing Grey Raven, where a lot of her, uh, although I really haven't done that boss fight in a while. The last time I did it was in the CN server. I haven't done it in the English server, which I should have done. Um, but I don't know. Usually, when I think of bosses in PGR, I think of the boss being affected by the punishing virus. So that's like, maybe she could be Havoc. Another like thing, maybe like out of left field, she might be. Let me think. Hmm. There could be Fusion, Havoc. Yeah, I guess might be that. But the thing is, like, from the other characters that we've seen, like we have Augusta, Fusion, then Galbrena, Luna. It's not Luna. You know, like, if we use the background as any indication where that might be their element, we have a lot of characters that are red, and red might not necessarily mean it's only fusion. It could also be in Havoc, which Prolova, I'm assuming, is Havoc. And we're finally seeing her as a summonable character. Or at least I'm assuming she's summonable. She's been in the game since the beginning, since 1.0, and she's finally getting a oh yeah, there, long awaited performance. So yeah, it's about time that she'll be summonable as a resonator. But yeah, like I mean, if we look at this, we have Perlova, who could possibly be Havoc, Chisa, who could also possibly be Havoc, Galbrena, maybe Havoc, if not Glacio. Yuno, I'm thinking Yuno might be Glacio or Spectro. We'll see. And then of course we have Fusion with Augusta. So it looks like three of the characters could possibly be Havoc, which I feel like, wow, they keep releasing Havoc characters. But we'll see. We'll just have to wait and see how that goes in the future. Maybe we might get further information during the Summer Games Fest this coming week. So who knows? But yeah, those are my thoughts on the new characters. Like right now, my favorite ones. My favorite is Galbrena for sure, and then second favorite is Chisa. But to be honest, I wanna summon them all. Honestly, my if I had to say which is my least favorite in terms of design, will probably be Augusta. Maybe, but like to be honest, like they're all very very close in like, and I do want to be able to get all of them. But whether my gotcha luck will allow me to do so, that's another story. But yeah, if I decide to put this on YouTube, thanks for watching the VOD. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one.